He is a man who likes a challenge like reshaping the entire future of the Republican Party. Michigan Republican Chairman Saul Anuzis is a guy many of you might not know. He rides a Harley-Davidson. He is a former Democrat, former Teamster, but he says he is the man to lead the GOP into the next election stronger than ever. Now, before he headed out to last week's Republican Governors Conference in Miami, he went to the internet to announce his candidacy for the post.
Everything's ready to roll for the upcoming day, which will focus on
the Governors Association meeting. Today I'm going to announce that I'm running for chairman of the Republican National Committee. YouTube is going to be one of the many tools we use to bring our party back. One ID at a time, one neighborhood at a time, one email at a time. Check out my website and my plan for how to bring the party back at anuzisforchair.com. The comeback starts now, and I hope you'll join me.
But Saul faces some stiff competition for the job. He joins us now, Saul Anuzis from our D.C. Bureau. Hi, Saul.
Hi, good morning.
Thanks for being here. All right, so a lot of our viewers don't know you because you haven't been on the national airwaves that much. So let's help them get to know who you are. I love this. You ride a Harley. They say, hold on, 2003 Road King. Is that still true?
That's right, the 100th anniversary edition.
Okay, you and your wife, she rides one too.
She rides with me, yeah.
Okay, you got a blue-collar background. You were a Democrat. You were a Teamster.
That's right.
And now you're a Republican trying to head up this party. You're from Lithuania, first-generation American. How does a Lithuanian, lifelong Democrat Teamster wind up wanting to run the nation's Republican Party?
Well, I think, look, we represent, and I think the Republican Party represents the party of the right ideas here in America. And I think that if you take a look at where we came from, and I think I represent much more of the type of people that are actually Republicans across this country. So I got involved in early days, in my college days, and I've been involved ever since. And I think that this is the party that has the right ideas to change our country. And I think, unfortunately, what happened is the American people lost faith in the party and in our ability to deliver on those ideas. So we have to change that and get back to our basics.
But Saul, you're saying that, and your competition so far in this race, a man familiar to our audience, Michael Steele, former Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, he's saying that same thing. You know, both of you think the Republican Party sort of needs to get back to its core principles. You know, lower taxes, less spending, conservative ideology, and so on. What's the difference between you and Michael Steele?
Well, I'm not sure if I necessarily want to get into the differences. I mean, Michael's got his background that he brings to the plate, and I bring a different set of skills to the plate here. You know, I've been a chairman here in Michigan, as I mentioned. We are a blue state that can go red under the right circumstances. You know, I came from a different background. I'm a movement conservative that basically was brought up in a blue-collar, middle-class neighborhood and family. And I think those are the types of people we have to go back to. You know, we're losing suburban voters. We're losing the working class. We're losing middle America that made this a majority party in the first place. So I think I can appeal to those voters. I think I can talk to the voters. I think I can help rebuild the party across the country. And I've got, you know, the convictions and the belief and the energy to go do this around the country.
All right, Saul. Now, I don't mean to give you a hard time.
That's all right.
Michigan didn't go so well for John McCain in the last election. He pulled out of there before the race even came. Some might say your history in Michigan doesn't suggest you can get the national candidate over the hump. What do you say to that?
Well, I would argue that we are a blue state that can go red under the right circumstances. But unless the national party and unless our leaders stand for the principles that will make us a majority party, I don't think it matters what you do in Michigan, Ohio, or anywhere else. Since 1988, we haven't won a presidential race there, but we've won a Republican governor, U.S. Senator, Attorney General, Secretary of State. So we win in Michigan when the ideas are right and when the principles that we believe in, the American people and the people of Michigan believe in. And so I think this is a bigger problem around our country. And I think until Republicans fix that problem, we're not going to be a majority party anywhere in the country.
Saul, you know, as somebody who is in Michigan, who was once a Teamster, who's the son of a guy who was in the UAW, if I understand correctly, the United Auto Workers Union. What do you think of this Detroit bailout? I got to ask you.
Well, I think we shouldn't do a bailout. We shouldn't do a blank check. I think the idea of a secured loan with restrictions and covenants, similar to what banks would do with a troubled company, is the right way to go. I think there are proposals that make sense. You got to remember, the auto industry affects a lot of jobs in this country. There's a lot of trickle-down effect if we let this thing go.
Yeah, when you say a secured loan, do you mean give them the $25 billion they're seeking, but make it some sort of, you know, official loan? So you want the $25 billion to go to them?
Well, I do think we have to work something out. We can't afford to let the domestic auto industry just fail. I mean, there's security issues, there's economic issues, there's long-term health care and unemployment issues. This is a lot more and a lot more costly than people realize. It's not something that can be handled, you know, it's not like you can let these guys go bankrupt and nothing's going to happen. It will have a huge trickle-down effect throughout the entire economy.
We're going to get into more of that a little bit later in this show. But Saul, off to the Harley. Thanks so much for being here. Or as you like to say, that's all, folks.
There you go. Thank you.
Do you really say that?
He does.
Do you?
He does.
Let me hear it.
Get him back. Saul, do you or do you not say that's all, folks?
That's the name of my blog. It's That's Saul, folks. So it's the name of the blog.
Well done.